computer. I'm just telling you.
Is there anybody you know? You just gonna come down here.
Yeah, well, no, I've got a tech person in the family. I just need to reach out and talk to
Oh,
them.
you know, you say you've been struggling with this. Okay, so what?
I'll call
Uh,
them. In fact, what we could do is interface between two of you, someone that is always busy, and sit down and figure out how to juggle this around. They're supposed to come through. People make these promises, but you don't see them. I'm not saying that that's you. I'm saying to you the very crazy experience that we have with friends, family, black folks. It's just the way it is. So when something doesn't, you ask someone, like there's a person says they can do cartooning, but then their phone goes out for a month or two. I can't plan around that. Ever return your calls, so you can't find busy, right? And then one person wants like $400 or $500 to do a logo. Someone else wants 300. You get what? Just um, our people operate out of a very irrational value system. To me, what would be smarter? Like I said to you, it's better to have a situation wherein you get, my brother, start off with what a person will pay that they'll do consistently and then build from there. Most of our people start off as greedy. I'm going to try to take as much as I can, as fast as I can, because I can't rely on getting any more. Anybody like that, I'm not going to work with, because what if I don't have it up front? But if I get it, I can do better. That's the way I want folks to work with me on that level. I'm not trying to screw anyone. Hey, how y'all doing? There are 9 people. Okay, y'all. When I ask y'all to help me out, y'all need to understand the reason that my camera isn't on is something's messing with my system. This is craziness. No, I've told y'all before. So I just got a VPN. In 6 days, y'all, I'll be able to have a virtual protection network. I don't have it yet. Or actually, I do have it. Maybe in less than 6 days, I'll have that on. On top of that, today when I get paid, I'm going to put some virus things on to keep whoever it is from attacking my computer. Coon Busters, please bear with me. This is not me. I'm sitting up here. It says my camera's on. I did everything. All of a sudden, the Wi-Fi doesn't work. But we're not going to stop. So everybody, please be encouraged. And that's what I'm talking to. The gentleman from media engagement, and part of what I get in terms of support for the channel is to pay my consultant so we can work through these problems. Because trust me, if you know anything about black media, black newspaper people, like for example, the Atlanta World editor was assassinated, shot in the head in 1932 or 33, just off of Auburn Avenue, not far from where Martin Luther King's church is. They blew his head off, and no one knows what happened. This was when Martin Luther King was a baby. Near where Martin Luther King was born, one of the most important black men in Atlanta had his head blown off for publishing articles talking about racial justice and an end to lynching. So Martin Luther King knew when he's 3, 4 years old, you can get your head shot off for speaking out. When black people tell the truth, or when you're putting out information, folks attack it. One of the earliest white abolitionists that was pro-black people is a man by the name of Elijah P. Lovejoy. He was killed, I believe, in Alton, Illinois in the 1820s. Let me look that date up real fast. His name is Elijah P. Lovejoy. They didn't just kill him. They burned him alive with his abolition press. They burnt him up with his newspapers and his press to show him that they can do whatever they want to black people. So what we're dealing with right at this second, where you can't see me, is minuscule to how things have been. A minimum of 6 or 7 Black Panthers were shot and killed for selling their newspaper in the state of California, maybe 9 or 10 or 12. Just so you'll know, when you're putting out black information and educating black folks, they will attack you. The the black newspaper in Jackson, Mississippi, I think no fewer than 5 times was firebombed and burned to the ground. Daisy Bates, who had her own black newspaper in Little Rock, Arkansas, their place was bombed about 5 times. When you tell the truth to black people, you will face harassment and persecution, even if you're just a little person. You don't have to be big. So if you understand that, if you notice, and if I said to you, you have no idea how many times, like I've said to someone, hey, look, can you work with me? Can you help do a logo for me? Can you do this? Can I pay you? I don't have this much. You'd be amazed at who promises stuff, my friends. And then they won't do it. I tell you, I'm going to get something, and the person says this, and I'm ready. Then they disappear. You can't find them. If you knew how bullshitty many black people are, the majority of black folks are cowards, or they're talking something that they can't do. I will tell you, I can't draw. I'm not that good with technical stuff. There's so much I don't know how to do. In fact, I will say this, Marshall, 2004, I love Memphis, Tennessee. In particular, I love Ron Hurd. Dr. Halls, God bless you. God bless plumbers. My father was not a plumber, but my father loved doing plumbing. I want y'all to understand that it is not just me. If you look at any of the black platforms, anyone telling the truth, anyone putting out information right about now, their platforms are under attack. They are. There is a war against black information. There is, in fact, when there would be, you can go look this up. It's called the Jacksonian riots. For about 20 years, there was a period of white people just killing and murdering black people all over the North and Midwest. One of the main places that they would attack and people that they try to kill would be black people that were putting out independent news and information. Information is power, and ironically, many of us don't like information, therefore we are powerless. So pardon me, I just went ahead and went on without the damn camera. Whoever's messing with this understands. In fact, we're going to have to be better as people. There is a group called Anonymous. Unlike black people who are obsessed with celebrity and fame, when Anonymous goes online and they get millions of hits, the faces of the people speaking to them is covered up, and so is the voice. Black folks need to see your face in real time and HD and all of that, or they can't relate to it, even if it's factual. Like the silly broad the other day that's arguing that there are no black people in South Florida when there's over 1.5 million, if not 2 million. I was willing to say 200,000. I knew that was a way undercount, but a lot of us don't like information. If you don't like information and you're black, you're an enemy of your people. And there are enemies within our community who work against us. I wanted to go on. Please forgive me, brothers and sisters. I was the victim of medical malpractice earlier this year. Went to see a dentist, racist dentist. I would have liked to have the black person. I couldn't get them. I got an Asian. Asian told me that there was nothing wrong with one of my back molar teeth. They couldn't read the damn x-ray, folks. I told her that my tooth was cracked. I'm certain it's cracked. I didn't want to have another abscess infection. Please help me. They told me, well, you need to brush your teeth, gargle with salt water, leave. Okay. The fact I was in pain, I was told just gargle with salt water. I ended up going to the doctor last week and finding out what I already knew. And I'm glad, because these people, little nasty, racist Hispanic woman, more medical malpractice. She could tell I was black, told me that the people who had been working on my teeth could no longer work on my teeth because they're no longer taking adults because of COVID. Go figure. And that's what they told me. When I went to another doctor, All of a sudden, they didn't want to release my medical records. I had to go through a big rigmarole. In fact, no disrespect, Black sisters, but one of the Black women that I did get on the phone had me hold for 45 minutes and went to lunch when I'm sitting in the doctor's office waiting for an appointment because I have an abscess. An abscess can kill you. Finally, with all due respect, a Hispanic woman helped me, not my own sister. And I wasn't cussing and screaming, even though I'm in pain, talking very politely, and I got put on hold. Sisters, when I say to you that we have a problem, no matter how you come at some of these jackass pork chop feminists with respect and honor and treat them like a queen, they treat you like some dude that's asked them for pussy that has a $4 bill and won't do what they're supposed to do, that they're paid to do, even when they're in a service position, and always have an excuse or try to tell you, well, you have to wait, come back another day. Between the Hispanic woman that lied to me, because what I learned when I called back to the office, the Hispanic woman was wrong, that they would be taking adult patients through January. But because I was Black, she told me none at all. So for all you brothers running after Latinas, they don't necessarily love you, but although they may like your being able to get them citizenship, they may love your wallet. A lot of them don't like you. You're stupid. The best women are Black American women that love their fathers, whether they were children of divorce, foster care, separation, or their parents stayed together. Now, those women are in short supply because about half or fewer Black children grow up with their dads. And a lot of mothers, as I was talking to a wonderful friend of mine in Chicago, hate the fathers of their children, think because they fell out with the dad, the children have no right to know their father. This is one of the greatest crimes of Black women as a collective. You guys should all hold your heads down in shame collectively for this kind of fraud being done and child and family services in courts across this country. And weak ass, simp ass Black men that beg for pussy who will come against me, y'all can all go to hell. Nobody respects you. That's why 6 out of 10 of your babies get aborted. That's to show how much they respect you. So you might be a sperm dropper, but you're not much of a man. How about that? So while I'm dealing with this technical challenge here, because I got high speed internet and everything If they're muting me, uh, I'm not muted. Are they working this tonight, brother? Brother, check. Mute. I'm mute. I love it. No, I'm very much here. Yeah. You need to go to, by the way, all of you that are not paying attention, I told you the website is called, what's it, At Night I Have Nightmares?
Yes, it's a Facebook page.
Facebook page. And I'm telling you, black folks, not paying attention is deadly. I came up in a different time from some of y'all. The teacher said at one time, if you didn't get it, you got an F. They've sort of dumbed our people down where you have to repeat it 10 times and they don't hear it until you say it 20. And we're going to have to do better. I've typed it up there. Facebook page. At night, I have nightmares. All you got to do is go look. It's there. We made a provision in case somebody did something stupid, we'd do something else. Meet me halfway. Yeah, I mean, you heard me. The screen is black. Of course it's black, Dawson. Share. They're blocking it. I don't know what's going on. So that's why all you need to do is go to Facebook and look for it. It's right there. At night I have, please use it. Read. I hope y'all can read. Shame on you if you can't read in the information age. Okay. No. So yeah, please look. We made a provision for them to screw up. Okay. You have another way to find us. We're always going to have, we make contingencies. We plan for white supremacy because they don't like what we're doing. The fortunate thing is that my page and YouTube hasn't been taken down. We got to download all the content before they take it from me. That's real talk. That's how it is. They're doing this to people, deplatforming people, shutting people down, the West, you name it. People that are informing you, telling you the truth, are under attack. Our people are asleep. Let me just share something with you. Because there's this whole thing in our people of how we see folks that are highly educated or well-educated or whatever. They really have, one of the binds that they have on black people is that intelligence and wisdom and leadership belongs to white men and white people. And a black person that's intelligent, that thinks, is out of order, right? And therefore, they're discounted. I want to say that to you. It's called acephaly when your head is cut off or when you're born with no head. Okay? When a people don't have folks that think, and I'm going to say this, and it's hurtful, too bad. Most people don't think. Most people in American society as a whole, less than 3% of the population reads. That means that the 1%, the dominant 1%, that's one of the percents that reads, or they have people that read for them. I think at least 2% of the reading of the 3% that reads work for the 1% that have everything. And for the other people, for the other 97% of the population, there's just 1% of us that read, meaning the vast majority. What they do read, they read cartoons, they read porn, they read junk romance novels, they read the sports page, they read celebrity stuff, they read mediocre things. They don't read hard stuff. And this is how the elite and others destroy the masses because they don't like thinking. They don't like reading. In fact, they're alienated from people that do read and think. They consider them bizarre. In our culture now, the people that know what they're talking about are seen as crazy, and the people that don't know are the ones that people go to. Now, are there examples of this? Yes, there is. In my lifetime in Cambodia, when they wanted to get rid of the old to create a dictatorship. Pol Pot, the head of the Kampuchean Communist Party movement, they killed all the educated people in Cambodia in order to control the nation. If they got rid of all the smart people, the dumb people would be under control. Yes, most people are dumb. Most people need some folks who do thinking and all to protect them, whether people like it or not. In Cambodia, they killed all the people that would have been able to advocate for the masses. They killed them. And that's how they were able to kill 2 million out of 8 million people, because anyone that had enough sense to organize or fight back got whacked first. The most violent conflict of the last century took place in the struggle between Adolf Hitler and Yusuf Dugashvili, aka Joseph Stalin, Man of Steel, translation of Stalin. Stahl means steel in German. Stahl means steel in Russian. Now, look, when the Germans went into not only Russia, but Poland also, the first people that they killed were the educated people, the people that could read, the people that had any kind of academic training. In fact, under the German occupation of Russia, the Germans killed anywhere from 30 to 50 million Russian people. I repeat, you won't hear this. Let's run. 25 to 50 million Russians were murdered by the Germans between 1941 and 1945. When the Russians went in to occupy, when the Germans went to occupy Russia, they began killing all of the educated people. One of the qualifications for them to occupy Russia was that nobody would get an education beyond the 3rd grade, if they got that, as a means to control the Russian people, to make certain that there are no more Russian people that could read or think. They shouldn't be able to read, to count to more than 10, and be able to know enough language to do what they're told. This is more or less the same way Black people were treated when they were enslaved, to make stupidity and a lack of knowledge normal. When Black people were owned as chattel slaves, we were ruled under a system of compulsory ignorance. Their compulsory ignorance laws were part of the Black codes. Compulsory ignorance meant that Black people had to be stupid under law. A Black person that could read or write could be executed. A white person that taught a Black person to read or write could be jailed and fined. After the Civil War, a significant number of people who were lynched, killed, burned, massacred were Black teachers, Black educators. This is why, up until recent times, Black teachers and Black educators were highly respected, because they were killed, underpaid, victims of violence and terror by the white establishment. Part of how they've perverted and dogged us out is to get us to disregard and have disdain for Black people amongst them who could read or think. This is why I'm rude and savage towards stupid Black people, because they're a type of traitor subversive. I would never come to this platform and try to give you a lie. If I say to you that there's a significant number of Black people in the state of Florida, I'm not saying that to impress anyone. It's not my opinion. It's a fact that I've researched maybe for many years. Anyone that's too dumb or too ignorant or rebellious or stupid or whatever to understand that this doctor in front of my name is real. I'm in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars for the education that I got. I admit I read and studied for the better part of 25 years. I'll be damned if somebody that went to a community college, not to knock those, if they even finished high school, is going to come up and try to talk some smack to me based on their opinion. They have an opinion and they have an asshole. But I wouldn't go to the asshole for information because nothing's going to come out of it that I need. We need to have some regard when people are known for reading, researching. Look, and I'm not boasting, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm trying to say to you that if I did some research for the Ford Foundation, as much as I don't worship Ford and Ford was a racist, what? Let's listen to me. Wow. 36 years ago, I was doing research for the Ford Foundation. Someone thought I was good enough to do research for the Ford Foundation when I was in my 20s. I'm not dumb. And many of the people, in fact, Dr. John Hendrik Clark said that he only debates equals, he teaches his inferiors. We have a lot of black folk, they're dumb as hell, and they think because they can open their mouth that they should be heard. I don't share that opinion. It's not because I don't think anybody else should speak, but if you're speaking, have something to say. On this platform, if you have something to say that's informed, like I said, and by the way, a lot of black folks, I don't get them. I say, hey, look, you have something to say? Drop me an email. Let's discuss you coming on. They're no takers, but they'll bitch. She doesn't let anybody else. In particular, if you're a loudmouth pork chop feminist, I block you. I'm sick of that. If you're a stupid simp, pussy begging, toxicity pimp, coon, I don't want to hear from you either. Anybody with something substantive to talk about, I don't care. I don't want celebrities. I have celebrities. I know Kim. I know Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser did the arrangements for My Girl and the arrangements for what's going on, and he did the arrangements for Michael Jackson's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and She's Out of My Life. I mean, I know people that are famous, and I may have them on, but I'd be just as happy to have my friend from Atlanta, who's the Brobo cop, talk. It's a real black man or a real black woman. Come on, bring it. But know what you're talking about. Or even if you're not the most educated person, genuinely be real about what your observations are. Versus thinking just because you're going to argue with me, I'm going to listen. I won't. And by the way, let me tell you, I notice a difference. When you go to a white college, when the white teacher speaks, you better be silent. I noticed when I went to, hold on one second. Brother from Nigeria, you need to do research before you post stuff on the wall. And when you can ask a question of yourself to go to YouTube, why not do it? If I answer something and say what something is, if you didn't catch it, it's on you, right? And I'll say that. Anyway, and if something's ignorant, I'll ignore it. How about that? If you could ask a white teacher an intelligent question at a white school, and if you were black, they may not even respond to you just because you're black. I've noticed that black folks feel because they can open their mouth and ask something before thinking about what they ask, they think, I have the right to ask a stupid question because I don't know. That's not really a bright way to ask questions. It's better to try to have an informed question than to ask a stupid one. Let's not do stupid questions. If you have a question about something, look into it first and then get further information, right? Then you can get a better answer than to ask something that might require that you get rebuked. This is something that you learn. In fact, if you're going to treat this like a classroom, one of the things that we learn when you're dealing with folks who are well-educated or well-trained or whatever is that you don't come to them with foolishness because their time is important. What they bring to the table is important. So your questions should be informed. It should be well thought out. It shouldn't just be, it came to mind, let me ask. I will ignore questions like that. If there's a person that's famous that you could type their name in YouTube and get the answer on, why ask me? right? Now, I want to go back to what I was talking earlier. My technical director here was asking me about black political prisoners. And he was asking me a question about Mumia Abu-Jamal. First and foremost, Mumia Abu-Jamal's innocent, 100% innocent. He did nothing wrong. He's the victim of COINTELPRO 2.0. Why is Mumia Abu-Jamal and many other black political prisoners languishing in jails all over America? And this has been going on since the 1950s. Why are they dying? Why are they sick? Why is this happening? I want to tell you the reason why. There are many black reasons for why these people are rotting in jail. Number one, the black democratic establishment is fearful of people like Mumia Abu-Jamal and have done nothing to get him out. They want all of the people that are truly outspoken, independent voices for black people. They want them in jail. They need them to die in jail because their competition to be legitimate leadership of black people. So Mumia has a death warrant on his head, not just from white society, but from the black democratic establishment. That's one. The Boule wants these people to rot and die in jail. The Coon preachers and sometimes Coon Islamic leaders want these people to die in jail. Now, what is my story? I became interested in doing what I could do for black political prisoners about 20 years ago. My problem was that many of the people in the black political prisoner movement, these cultural nationalist black people, they are cultic assholes. You almost have to worship and be a slave to these people to be involved in helping other black people out. I don't have time for it. If I won't take it from a nigger preacher, I'm not going to take it from a nigger who's got cow bones in their hair and in their beards and wearing beads and carrying around raisins and water and shit. I'm not going to do it. Fuck all of y'all. And names I can't pronounce, and you got to worship and genuflect and roll on the floor in front of these people. If I won't do it in church, I won't do it for some nigga practicing voodoo and hoodoo. However, when H. Rap Brown went to jail, I wrote him initially. It's been about 20 years, and asked what I could do. I didn't get really a response when he wrote me back. Now, almost 5 years ago, when I decided to work with people that knew Republican candidate Trump, one of the things that I made a request for was the release of Mumia Abu-Jamal, the revocation of the $2 million bounty put on the head of Assad Shakur, and freedom for black political prisoners. If you do not believe that I've been an advocate for the release of black political prisoners for the last 2 or 3 years, you can look for, what's this man's name that I've been dealing with? And they've been putting this out in right-wing circles. His name will come to me in a second. I don't always talk to him. His name is Robert Steele. Cynthia McKinney and myself have been calling for the release of black political prisoners. By the way, Maxine Waters and these other people have not been with us. They have not done it. Now, I want to give you a personal story. When I had an opportunity to make appeals that would go directly to the president to hit his desk for Mumia, I asked people in the Jericho movement, would y'all just support me going to the president, whether he's racist or not, to get these brothers and sisters out of jail? I want to tell you, they would rather them rot in jail and die than Trump pardon them. I repeat, they would rather the black men and women in jail who are there without a cause, who've been tortured, abused, poisoned. They want to cherry pick who can pardon them instead of get their asses out of jail. I want to repeat that. If it were a Republican, they would rather them die than a Republican at least be recognized for letting them out of jail. I repeat, Mumia could be out of jail right now if people had simply been willing to press for it. They wouldn't even support me asking. You think they give a damn about Mumia? I don't think so. I don't think they care about H. Rap Brown. I don't think they care about Larry Hoover. I don't think they care about any of the black people in jail. But I want you to understand that, nope, when I was with the white Republican people that everybody says are racist, I mean, it's true. I was talking about reparations, freeing black prisoners, helping black farmers, funding black schools, reopening black banks shut under Obama, and so forth. This is what I was talking about. For anyone that calls me a coon, go to hell. What? I'm for black folks having guns and banks and farms and schools and access to capital for black businesses in black areas. And I want a border up, and I don't want illegals getting jobs over black Americans, and I'm the coon. And yet all of you that voted for Biden and Democrats are for the exact opposite. They want to de-arm us and vaccinate us. You're the coons. You're the traitors. You're the ones who let our heroes rot and die in prison. I'm not for that. I want to let you know that the people in the Jericho movement, in particular, one of the leaders who I happen to love, but he's so mad that I said, take the deal from Trump if you could get it. They all blocked and made an agreement not to talk to me. I became a bad person saying, get this out, whatever it took. Are y'all hearing me? Asking for our brothers and sisters who have suffered, been beaten and tortured to get out and at least let them have a couple years where they could halfway talk, see their friends and family. They would rather them die because they're Democrats. They're not really Pan-Africanists. They're Democrats. They still want to be on the plantation. They wanted Obama to let them out. I know one of the people that wrote the whole proposal for Marcus Garvey pardon, and I helped put together another team to get Marcus Garvey pardon. What I want to let you know is the people that put it on the desk for Obama, I went to Harvard with one of them. What you need to know is they refused to give me the proposal for Marcus Garvey's pardon because they were afraid Donald Trump would do it. And they'd rather Marcus Garvey's son, who just died a few weeks ago, never got to see his father pardoned. Not that I think Marcus Garvey needs to be pardoned because he didn't do anything wrong. But if it would have made his son feel better in his last days, I'd do that for a black brother or sister. They refused to share the document because they were afraid Donald Trump would do it. Do we care that much? Obama refused to even read the thing for for Marcus Garvey. Apology accepted. I refuse to believe this, but it's true. These so-called black radicals, even on the far left, suck the penis ring of the Democrats. And that they only want to do that. My thing is, Asada Shakur, who I met almost 20 years ago this April, she shouldn't have $2 million on her head. Al Sharpton could say something. He was around. Obama listened to him. Al Sharpton, according to Asada Shakur, helped set her and the other people in the Black Liberation Army up to be killed on the New Jersey Turnpike. And he was around when Obama doubled the bounty on her head. Y'all like Al Sharpton, y'all dumb as hell. Y'all deserve what y'all get. And Al Sharpton is supporting Tuskegee 2.0. And he's going to be well paid for it. How else is it that he could owe $2 or $3 million to the IRS and they didn't lock him up like Wesley Snipes or the sister from the Fugees? What's her name? Help me out. I don't think about her every day. Um, come on, man. She had a big album about 20 years ago. She's in the Fugees. Come on, y'all. Tell me the name. Uh, Lauryn Hill. Thank you. They threw Lauryn Hill in jail. They threw Leslie Snipes in jail for practically nothing. But Al Sharpton owes more money, maybe 20 times over what Wesley Snipes had actually paid in full. They threw him in jail. I mean, railroaded Wesley Snipes. And Sharpton can owe millions and not pay it off. That's an agent, people. That's an agent. I want to repeat that the black political prisoners could be released, and anyone that would tell you otherwise is a goddamn liar. A goddamn liar. And the CBC is full of goddamn liars. Let me give you an example. The Puerto Rican revolutionary movement blew up several police in New York in the early 70s. Do you know that the Clintons made a deal with the Puerto Rican communists and the people who blew up the police got freed? We have Asada Shakur who's killed no one, and they can't get a $2 million bond off her head. They can't get H. Rap Brown, Jamil Al-Amin out of jail. They can't get Mumia, who killed no one, out of jail. They don't want these people out. They don't want you to have real voices. They don't want you to have fearless people who'll speak up. They need you locked up. Let me tell you a real story that took place just upstairs in my house. Wow, it's been almost 8 years. Malcolm Shabazz, grandson of Malcolm X, was sitting at my table, and he was telling me about Jesse Jackson and how Jesse Jackson did a big media spiel that he was going to do some help Malcolm. But Jesse did. He didn't. Not a surprise. I need to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Y'all just need to know I'm on medication and it's a trip. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay. Whew. I'm not repeating my story. It's going to be recorded. So just go to the page. That's they don't repeat it in the news if it's bad. They keep going. Um, this isn't curb to curb service. This is doing the best we can. Y'all need to work with me, colored people. We're spoiled and indulgent. We need to be a lot better than what we are. There's nobody feeding me information, helping me do better, right? So, the whole purpose for anybody that has been ignoring what I've been repeating, that there's a page on Facebook where you can see what's being said. It's a choice to ignore me. Now my camera's on. All of a sudden they decide to do it, whatever that's about. We can do better. The last poets used to sing a song, "The Revolution Would Not Be Televised." A lot of us don't like that song because they really do think it's going to be easy and put on a plate with the spoon and the fork and the napkin. That's false. That's a lie. If you come to this platform looking at it that way, you're going to be disappointed and you're collectively out of your mind. Like I said, I know people, we've gone into debt to learn, to travel, to try to have information. And literally, I know what it's like to be in school when the people hide the information from you and punish you if you found it and put it in a paper and tell you if you want to graduate, you better change your paper topic or we're going to kick you out of school. That's how information really is. So when I bring it and drop it for you, if you can't work with that, you need prayer. It doesn't just come to you. And in reality, enjoy these pretty soon. The way that we're going with Patreon, with these things that are free, that are long, they're going to be snippets. I might do 20 minutes and then the hours are going to be on Patreon. So God bless you. I mean, I didn't say that with disrespect to you, Brother C. Wright. Love to you. Too much is going on. And if I'm doing this without a teleprompter, and y'all loved Obama, and they did it all with teleprompter and this stuff written down, it would be nice. I'm doing this with one person's help. God bless MediaEngagement.com. Y'all send some money to Media Engagement just as a personal favor. If y'all want to make me feel good for Christmas, if I could give a gift to anybody, if y'all could all send just a love gift, I mean, y'all can bless me too, but definitely, let me put this in. I just want to see if someone will do it. Isn't it Media Engagement? Isn't it? Isn't that a Cash App? Talk to me. Don't hide from me. They're so shy. Yeah. It's Media Engagement, right? Okay. That's their Cash App. Bless this person. They're helping all kinds of Black folks to get their stuff out. I would love to see that brother get at least $50. That way, when I give him, he'll at least have 3 figures for all the time that he spent trying to help me get this platform moving. After I was so disrespectfully taken off of YouTube for a whole week, that's 15,000 people I didn't get to talk to because I posted someone talking about the experience with the pandemic. And they told me they're going to take my channel if I ever did that again. Media Engagement. Drop a few on them. And of course, bless me. And of course, I'm starting off by giving this person who's providing a major service to me the bare bones of 10%. We'd like to get it to 15 by January 1, which isn't far away. And it still won't really be worth the amount of time because let's say people give me $30 in a night and I did like 3 or 4 hours. If you break it down, it's like, less than minimum wage. That person who commands $150 an hour, I can't afford what they do for me. I can't afford for them to help spread what we're sharing. And it's amazing. So, we're going to have to be more generous with each other. Yes, you see me with the same old clothes. I'm not out buying a whole. I've had this. This is an outfit that belonged to Bishop Idahosa from Benin City, Nigeria, one of the leaders of the evangelical Pentecostal movement in Nigeria. This belonged to, Chief Benson Idahosa. And this must be about 30 years old. And yes, it's Shaggy. If you want to give me another one, you're over in Africa, make me one. However, it's not like I'm buying new clothes or new drawers, or I'm not dating white women. A lot of what I'm doing, we're talking about buying new equipment because I want to be able to put video clips in. I am going to just go ahead. I'm thinking, especially if I get paid for the work I did in Atlanta, I want to give a big clap for myself. I helped set the stage for Warnock's ass to be exposed. Did y'all see him get exposed? Didn't I tell you that he beat women's asses? Didn't I tell you that he was a crook and a thug and a liar and an enemy to black people? I told y'all before anyone else. There are a whole bunch of people that knew more. They knew him. All I had was basically, yes, a revelation from God that this man is a low-life, backstabbing, arrogant dog. Yes, I said it just like that. And I've been proven right. I was saying this a month ago, and I hadn't been in Atlanta in years. I've never been on the grounds of Ebenezer Church, and I could see through that nigger. Okay? And yes, I called him a nigger. And for all of y'all that can't stand the word nigger, go somewhere. Go to where they don't say nigger and they wear their aunt crosses and all, and they're allowing pedophilia to be legalized, and they're quiet, and they go to strip clubs and they tell you, well, you know, dance is an African tradition. Man, I can't stand these phony cultural type Negroes. They're coons too. They're coons with koofies on. Okay? No use for them. Now look. Hey Sheila, look. Going back to the black political prisoners, all of our black political prisoners could be freed. Cynthia McKinney and I, it's on the internet, look for it. Robert David Steele. If you look it up, or David Steele, look it up. I've been calling for people on the right to release black political prisoners. Why can't Maxine Waters and the other people on the left go to the Democrats and say that they want these people out? Because they won't do it. Nobody's asked for I've asked for Larry Hoover to at least get better treatment in prison. Real talk, real talk, real talk. Now, I'm going to stay on topic, folks in the chat room. I'm not going to always change when someone asks a question.
Make me
I don't hear you. What are you saying? I don't hear you. What are you saying?
copy that.
I didn't hear any of what you're saying. Your voice went out, so you're gonna have to repeat what it was because it all went out.
Yeah, it was a blurt out. It wasn't for you.
Okay, fine. Now, I want to say something to y'all about the political prisoners, and I'm going to stop here. The Puerto Ricans got the Clintons to release people who had murdered police and had done bombings. None of the black establishment has fought to get the release of black political prisoners. And let me say this to you, that they're these white leftists. Some of them have sex with the black political prisoners, or they have black or boyfriends, or sometimes they're gay. They're swirling. These white leftists are making millions of dollars off of Mamiya and others. And so therefore, them being in jail makes them convenient fundraising items for white people to get the money. There should have been, for these coons on the left, these so-called black militant nationalist types, there should have been a fund to train black lawyers to do the litigation work for Mamiya and others. They haven't done it. Count on white leftists and their money to free black people, their white allies, who make money while these people die. Something else I've got to say. These same blacks on the left have supported thousands of Latinos being able to go to college to become lawyers to fight for illegals to have rights. And there's not been a commensurate effort for black lawyers. Many of the people who've done this are black lawyers themselves, advocating for people who are not in the country. That is amazing. That is amazing. And so what I want to do is say to you, the next time you hear about black political prisoners, please note that the black Boule, religious, and otherwise establishment wants these people to remain in jail. If they wanted them out of jail, they would have done something to get them out. If Marcus Garvey could get released from jail in the 1920s, literally 97 years ago, Marcus Garvey, or 96 years ago, Marcus Garvey got released from jail with one of the most racist presidents in American history, Calvin Coolidge. Then why couldn't anybody get released under Obama? I'm trying to tell you that the people that you look up to, that you see on stages, that you see on CNN, everywhere else, are literally working to destroy us. You're not going to see anybody black with any reputation. The only person I've seen actually talk about welcome, aloha to Hawaii. Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan is the only person talking about this medication issue. Practically nobody else. All the other people that you see trying to educate you are folks like me who have this Boule glass ceiling keeping us out. You see, if black people became healthy and strong, there'd be no need for Jesse Jackson or an Al Sharpton or Simone Sanders or Cedric Richmond or Maxine Waters. The whole so-called black leadership structure is parasitic. Actually, a leech has more beneficial value than many of the people that you've been told are black people who stand for you. They don't. They haven't done anything for us in 50 years. And there are a lot of folk mad at me. One of the founders of the Congressional Black Caucus, when they saw me in February, they almost lost their mind seeing me. And I'm going to keep doing and saying what I'm saying because they're terrified. Let me explain to you something. There's a little agreement that a lot of black folks don't understand, that when you get a certain level of education or training, you're not supposed to give a damn about grassroots black people. You're supposed to be detached and stay off into your own little circle. And whatever happens to black people that aren't well educated or are working in ordinary jobs, then they suffer as long as you're okay. This is a situation that we have. If you're like me, where I'm concerned about black folks in foster care, and many people are not aware, that at a certain point, I work with the Coalition of Adoption programs for DC, where we advocated for foster care. If I'm just saying to you, whether I got paid or whether it got a whole lot of impact, I need you to know when it was black folks that didn't have a whole lot or that were marginal or that were mistreated, at least at some point in my life, I did what I could do as a little person, because what happens to the people in foster care, what happens to black people that are homeless, what happens to black women that work in hotel rooms, or for folks who are being targeted by eugenics hurts us all. And it hurts me if it's hurting you, okay? The black elite that most of you think represent us say what hurts you hurts you. Yet they go to white people and say, white people, give us money, give us resources because black people need. And then they steal 90% of it for 1% of them. And what little left goes to the next, say, 10% or 15% of black people. And then the 85% of us get none of it. We have to have a revolution, a civil war in the black community. We need to displace the traitors who are running our community. They mean to kill us all. And there are people that will tell you I'm certifiably crazy. I could care less. I think it's crazy that the so-called black leadership couldn't do something about Flint or Katrina or Ferguson or Camden or Baltimore or Liberty City. You name the community where black people are suffering, you name the disparity, there's never any change. No matter how many trillions of dollars come into our community, no matter how many degrees we earn, no matter how many black firsts, things for 90% of us stay about the same. We have to change that. Now, Let me do some other things. Let's do some quick news. You need to be paying attention to the case of Anjanette Young in Chicago. About 2 years ago, a black grandmother was snatched either out of her bathtub or out of her bed by Chicago police buck naked, handcuffed, her house ransacked, and taken to jail naked. The mayor of Chicago, Larry Dykefoot, they've seen the naked pictures of a black grandmother. It's been the butt of jokes in the Chicago Police Department. Now that they've been exposed, black folks in Chicago are about to expose and explode. God bless black folks in Chicago. Black women listening to this, we need to have a movement to get rid of Larry Lightfoot in Chicago. It's coming up next month. I'm waiting for my information. The women are having Zoom calls. As soon as I hear from my people, I'll be letting you know. In Chicago, the plan is to get maybe 10, 20, 50,000 black women to take over the city government of Chicago and throw out Lori Lightfoot. God hates the day. Rock Hill, South Carolina, a black man, 71 years old, was dragged out of his house naked because some people were stealing or trying to break into cars at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. He's suing. In Columbus, Ohio, within the last 3 weeks, 2 innocent black men have been shot to death by the police. One man shot who'd never committed a crime. He had a sandwich in his hand. He's dead now. Coming in his own house with a sandwich, like that's going to hurt someone. The other man was shot by police with his body cam off. In Chicago, the men and one white woman who wouldn't even put the black woman in the sheet, your white feminist ally, let this black grandmother, a church woman, be taken to jail naked. Didn't even give her a sheet. They could shake the sheet to make certain there was no knife or gun in it, so she could have a little dignity. You black women forget that 45% of you were owned by white women. White women used to put their fingers in black women's vaginas and touch their breasts and their buttocks before they bought them. Oh yes, it's true. A white woman bought my ancestor in Savannah, Georgia, I think after touching his penis and marrying him. Your allies. I hate pork chop feminism. Goddamn feminism. Goddamn it. And goddamn pork sisters are a disgrace. And simp, toxicity, pimp, beggars. Fuck y'all too. I don't agree with Dr. Short. I just want some pussy. I don't have any dignity. I don't have any intelligence. But you know what? I'm straight. You're supposed to be straight, simp. I just want some pussy. I don't want no dignity. I don't want black men to be responsible for the home. It make pork chop feminists mad. They don't want to give me any pussy when I start talking about black rights and black self-determination. So I'm going to just be a punk so I can get some ass. I don't care. I don't want freedom. I don't want justice. I just want to bust a nut. I said, if pussy's that so good, why are you bisexual? If pussy's so good, why are you a pedophile? If pussy's so good, why aren't you married? If pussy's so good, why aren't you protecting our sisters? If pussy's so good, why are there 70,000 missing black women? If pussy's so good, why are you getting it at $20 a piece in a strip club? You're a goddamn liar. You don't like pussy. You like your own dick. If you had your own pussy, you'd stick it up your ass and you wouldn't even like women. You don't care. If you love black women, you would want them to be dignified. You'd want them not twerking. You'd want them to look good in nice clothes with health care. You wouldn't want them to abort 60% of their babies. I'm sick of lying-ass, fake-ass, pork-chop feminist, bitch-ass pimp males. The biggest bitches of all are black men that think that their dick makes them king of the universe. You don't even make certain that babies are born from all the nuts you dropped. Even Mexicans do that. They don't even speak English. Y'all make me sick. Don't get me started. I mean, y'all hear me attack pork chop feminists because it's a sacred cow. Most folks won't go up against some hoes. I don't care. Now, once I've set these pork chop feminists on fire, simp coon, pussy beggar, weak ass black men, I'm coming for y'all. Y'all are next. I started off on y'all. I'm taking a vacation. But you know that song, Hey Y'all, My Boyfriend's Back? I'm coming for Simp Coons. And there's some Simp Coons. I could bust y'all asses. And y'all don't start me. Now let me go back to the news shit. Here in DC, speaking of simp coons, all the dumbass black men in the DMV that want to pretend that Muriel Bowser isn't a ravenous, degenerate lesbian that likes light skin and white women, you're out of your fucking mind. She's a butch, always has been. She hates black men. She hates black people. She's a degenerate waste of time. She's against black men having jobs. We're supposed to have a third of the contracts in the city. We get less than 1%. Okay, y'all get to fuck a black lesbian now and then. Why is everything your dick? You know what? Some of these simp brothers, the only difference between them and a drag queen trans, they both obsessed with dicks. It's just where they're sticking it. And half the time they're sticking it in a dude. Or they're sticking it in a woman's behind because they don't really want to make another black life. Same ones that love pussy so much and love taking the woman to Planned Parenthood to kill them. Man, come on, girl, just kill her for me. Man, it was never gonna be nothing because you see how I ain't nothing and my baby ain't gonna be nothing, girl. You just treat this like you getting a weave. I'll buy your fur coat if you kill it. You always wanted a mink. Tell me I'm not talking about these no good niggas shit. Don't get me started. Y'all think I'm hard on women. It's not true. When you sisters start attacking the pork chop feminist, doing your share of the race work, then we righteous brothers can go after the simps. Right now, y'all been delinquent. I want to drive in my lane. If you would just attack Lori Dykefoot, or Larry Dykefoot, or Bow Wow Bowser. If y'all would attack these broads, stop saying they're strong women, they're successful. See, the black woman's gonna help black people. Well, y'all been running shit for 50 years. We've been getting more fucked up every year. I don't want y'all to run anything else. Shit. You know what? If the state of black people was like a driver's license with points for accidents, we wouldn't be allowed to drive with the matriarchy in charge. It's over. Y'all had 50 years. Y'all fucked it up. It's men's turn. Black men, stop begging for pussy. Really, it'll come your way. In fact, stop looking for pussy. Start looking for a wife. Start looking for a life partner. In fact, and if you can't find it in America, like I said, Brazil, it's in America too, just South America. Any black, all you women, yes. I want to introduce a healthy competition model. If you don't want to cook, you don't want to be a mother, you don't want to screw, you don't want to love, you don't want to cooperate, you've got to compete and be dominant, be alone. And then if you don't want to give up on women, there are other black women outside this country. Yeah, I said it. And by the way, black men are always reminded, black women, you always do this, that white men make more money, that white men have more. It's true, but it's based off of our mutual enslavement, both black men and black women together. Black men always have white men's earning potential and stuff held up to them. Black women don't like when something's held up to them of where they could have more of. And no, I'm not talking about straight hair or blue eyes or light skin. There's some sick ass black men that into that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about loyalty. I'm talking about reciprocity. Like when I called the dental office and talked to the sister that was in charge, I didn't disrespect her. She put me on hold for 40 minutes and went to lunch. It's amazing. The white woman helped. The black woman put me on hold. Sisters, because y'all not used to being accountable, I'm telling you, a lot of you are not. Y'all don't like hearing what we have to say. There's this thing called vagina monologues where basically people with pussy talk. Well, we need dick monologue. I just need to hear what people with dicks think. It helps us for black men and black women to talk and then not be political correctness. You know, I noticed a group dynamic when you would get black men and women in the room. The black men would be silent because they were all simps and they wanted pussy. They would never say what they were thinking. Well, I disagree. I think all black women are perfect queens, and that's I just want some pussy talk. Because they're the first ones to say bitch. They're the first ones to beat a woman. They're the first ones to go to the strip club. They're the first ones to not pay child support. They're the first ones to abandon. A simp will say anything to get in your drawers. A simp will say anything to bust a nut. A simp wants you to lick their butthole. A simp wants you to suck their testicles. A simp doesn't want to marry you. A simp doesn't want to be a father, a husband, a friend. A simp doesn't want to get a vasectomy but wants you to take Depo. Assuming I had a relationship and birth control became an issue and we agreed no more children, I'd get a vasectomy. I wouldn't dare ask my woman to take any chemicals that white people made. No, I'd rather you tie a knot in my in the pipes and us keep it moving, right? Not poison my woman. Black men, y'all that have your women on these dangerous drugs and all so you can fuck and not be responsible, y'all are the stupidest ass men walking the planet. And that's why these women have cancer and they're dying. And by the way, a lot of times they're dying alone. They took all this birth control for years, hoping if they didn't have any children, the nigga would marry them. And they fucking somebody else. Sometimes it's a man. Ain't that a bitch? I mean, but you know what? He was a simp. And he did that masturbatory, I love the pussy talk. No, don't love the pussy. Love the woman who has the pussy. When they tell you they love pussy, they do. They just don't love women. They don't love sisters. They don't love family. They don't love their mothers. If you loved a woman, you wouldn't refer to her by her private parts. Huh. Now, I've just made all the brothers angry. They stopped applauding me. Just because I beat up on pork chop feminists don't mean I'm going to come for simps. Y'all have no idea how much I can't stand simps. I really have, complete total disdain for simps. I just do. There are many layers to me. You have no idea. There's a reason I'm supporting all these women's groups and all the women that have been raped, molested, all the women put on cocaine, all the dudes that wanted babies that didn't have milk to suck their dicks during the crack thing and give the woman pennies on the dollar for what they would have charged a grown prostitute for a blowjob. Let's just talk about simps. They have no morality. They have no decency. And yes, lash out at you coons. Because if black men were doing something other than begging for ass or pretending that their dick was the center of the universe, and if it was, where are the jobs, economic, culture, and political power to go with the big balls you have? They're missing. Now people have come into our communities with dangerous medication that are going to kill our children, our women. And, man, I'm wondering if she get vaccinated, does that mean I can fuck? Not have to worry about getting COVID if I get some pussy? Because, see, I'd go down and eat pussy, but I don't want to get COVID along with the yeast infection in my throat. I'm tired of taking the amoxicillin when I go. God, help me, Jesus. Help me, man. Help me. Help me. Help me. Let me go back to news. Here in D.C., Muriel Bow Wow Bowser, again, has not vetoed, chosen not to overturn District Law B23-0171, which allows the city or the government of the District of Columbia to vaccinate children without the knowledge or consent of parents. This is worse than the Soviet Union or Maoist China, brought to us by a black woman in coalition with gay allies and Coons. This is my city. I told y'all this was going to happen, and it's here. If you're in the DMV, please be in touch. I got to get with some people, got to figure out what we can do. I was on the phone with folks trying to figure out if I can get someone in the Senate to help me and those of us fight against this broad. And by the way, where all this stuff is happening, whether y'all like me saying it or not, it's happening under black or white Democrats. Time and time and time again, black Democrats. It's not racist white Republicans, which certainly exist. Black Democrats. You wonder why I'm not registered as a Democrat. I want to repeat. I told y'all in Atlanta, it's in the news. Look it up. War Nuts or Reverend Raphael Gamaliel Warnock or Warlock. His wife has come forward and announced that he tried to kill her. It's everywhere. I told y'all this. If you know people in Atlanta, don't vote for Warnock. Yes, the prejudiced bitch who needs her hair highlighted, if not cut off. They look like Rapunzel on crystal meth. At least they're not trying to legalize pedophilia and help illegals and everything else. We need our own party. We need our own movements. I'm one person. God knows I'm one person. I'm working with this engineer here, and I can't wait. I'm supposed to get some money today in my bank account so I can at least cut at least a little check. Oh my God, I'll be paying another black person. This is what we're supposed to do. And I don't have a whole lot. And by the way, I hope some of y'all bless me. I absolutely need to send this brother a minimum of $50. I need to send my engineer person a minimum of $50. If y'all want to, we'd like to send him at least $100 for Christmas. $100 to media engagement on Cash App. Send him a payment. And of course, bless me too. I'm going to have, God willing, Dorothy Gaines. Dorothy Gaines is my next female hero. I'm going to call her in a couple of hours. Dorothy Gaines is a woman I met over 20 years ago. Sisters, my heart was cracked. I just want people to know I love black women. I just hate these pork chop feminists. It's because I've seen, like you saw Kulik, there are a lot of black men out here. They hurt. They are hurt. These black men are hurt. They are hurt sisters. They've never talked about it. When you hear them, you hear all this hate and resentment. You think it's against you collectively. It is not. It's that they've been hurt and they don't see any hope. I turned 56 in a couple of weeks. I never thought I'd be single this long. I never thought so. I'm shocked that I'm single. And I'm not a sex fiend or whatever, but I'm thinking, God, I'm gonna have erectile dysfunction before I find someone. Shit. At least you want to screw normally. You wait all these years and say, damn, this thing is gonna go before I find someone. Anyway, let me just say to you, there are a lot of brothers that are hurt. 50% of black men are single in this country. I don't think we all want to be by ourselves, but we're not being honest with black women. We're strongly discouraged. I look at folks, I've seen people that, if I told you some of the craziest ass black women, says, my God, this woman really thinks that she can be with someone. Folks want you to call them, and then they were watching Martin Lawrence and talking to you on the commercials. And this woman said to me, you want a white woman. This was actually said to me by Patricia Thomas. I was like, Pat, what are you talking about? Well, you want a white woman. And I'm thinking, I want a white woman. I says, oh, you mean I want a woman that loves and respects me? Well, in that case, yes, I want a white woman. We haven't spoken since. She was basically saying, I'll be in relationship with you if I don't have to respect you or honor you as a man. She really thought that's a good deal. Well, she has a pussy. Look, there are 3.5 billion people on this earth with a pussy. It's not like it's in short supply, black women. That's what your mama who lied to you told you. There's a song by written by a man by the name of Smokey Robinson. It's too many fish in the sea. There's always someone else with the hole other than you. It really should be about your character and the whole package as a woman. Okay? Just saying. If I told you, said the strangest thing about, damn lady, they asked me to call them. I call. They don't really want to talk to me. What they really want to do is show their friends that they have a man that will sit on the phone and let them watch Martin Lawrence and the different TV shows. This is what this woman wants from me? To just show that someone male calls them? By the way, moderately overweight, bad attitude, female-headed household, all the shit that the like danger warning signs for me, like, nah. No way. No. So, half of black men in this country is single. I know a lot of people that like to get married. I know a lot of people that are not married for various reasons. I have a friend who had confided they have a small penis. They figured that would not, they'd get in trouble with not having a penis large enough, as if the sister's gonna, like, put some cornbread around it to help it have more circumference. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Women talk about them having to have certain sort of greater hair. Well, which you can actually do something with the hair. You can put a weave on. You can't create a new penis, ladies. So guys who have women who've grown up watching porn, who expect everybody to have enough sauce that can hit them from across the room, dudes that expect you to fuck like porn stars, even if they haven't been that promiscuous, they don't know how to screw like someone that screwed 100 people. I know a lot of women that expect a man to be like a decathlon gold medal winner in bed first time out. Yes, you women are irrational about sex. A man can't learn. A man has to know. If a man has to know before he gets to you, it means he would have had to have been promiscuous before he got to your ass. So you want an expert in bed, and you want it to be intimate and just with you. But the kind of sexual performance that your stupid, immoral ass wants requires that he's been a hoe before he got to you. And then y'all like to play Zen master with the pussy. Not tell the nigga how to get you off. And if he can't figure it out, you rate him as not knowing what the fuck he's doing when you deliberately didn't tell him. You mean you can tell a man how many babies you killed, but you won't tell him where your G-spot is? You can tell him all the women you've had sex with, but you won't tell him where your G-spot is? And it's his fault if he can't read your mind. Yet, the stereotype is men are stupid. So if men were stupid, why not tell the dumb fuck where your G-spot is so he could at least have a chance of pleasing you? Or do you just not want him to please you so you can have some shit to say to him? That's a control move. That's a little Jezebel pork chop feminist bitch move. Real talk, I'm talking to you tramps. So, if you get a guy from the church who's serious about Jesus and he hasn't slept with a whole bunch of people, sizable dick, no real dick action experience, how can he compete with the nigga that's been screwing everyone? And then you're angry with him. Well, he had a premature ejaculation. Well, you shouldn't have played with him so much. I mean, what's wrong with the man learning? You know, but if a woman doesn't know how to screw a man, we'll teach her. If a man doesn't know how to screw, the more experienced woman that's been a tramp, that gets a nice boy, she's a hypocrite. Yes, a lot of you sisters are like that. Y'all two-faced backstabber idiots. And then you end up having the good guy who can pay the bills. Then you have the back alley dick for, the sex exploitations that you need. And this creates a problem when the kids look like the neighborhood, but not like the man you're married to. Then he's an asshole if he wants the DNA test to say, damn, this boy looks like the UPS man that keeps bringing the roses over. There are a lot of reasons that black men aren't getting married, and infidelity goes both ways. There are a lot of backstabbing, two-timing women out here. I want to say one of my great aunts, who I love dearly, when my great uncle was getting shot at by the Japanese in the Pacific, she was fucking the whole neighborhood. When he comes back, she's got 2 kids by other people. My uncle, good man. He kept her and raised the other fuck trophies from other men. This is in the 1940s, sister, so this shit ain't new. Most people wouldn't see my uncle as a great man that would keep a woman that cheated on him while he was on the battlefield being shot at. And that happened to a lot of black men that went off to war, and they didn't drag women. They weren't on Oprah. They weren't on male platforms calling all black women failures, whores, sluts, and bitches, because it's just one person's the one they chose to be with. It was worse back then. I disagree. It's the same. And there are lots of stories of black men and white men fighting over black women. A black woman during the time of lynchings fucking a white man and a black man at the same time, which means you could get the black man killed. And black women, y'all need to atone for the shit y'all done. At least for the Million Man March, there was some recognition that black men hadn't done what they're supposed to do. When a black woman going to have a gathering and admit that y'all fucked up a lot? Often. And for a long time. And there's no mention of it. And sadly, some of this should have come from women talking about this instead of, I was at the Congressional Black Caucus. Wow. In 1992 or 91. I think it's 92. And a cousin of mine, a great black male educated by the name of Spencer Holland from Columbia University, was speaking at the Congressional Black Caucus Wives Forum. And idiot ass Julianne Malveaux was yelling and screaming and loud talking my cousin because he was trying to talk about the need for black boys to get help so they'd be men, and the women were attacking him. And this is something that black women, y'all have fucked up in this and y'all are paying for it, to not want the boys to grow up to be men. And if you try to have an academy to teach boys to be boys and to then grow up into men, well, we need some girls in there. Notice whenever there's something for girls, black men don't try to crash it for boys. But when there's something for boys, black women try to crash it. A lot of you black women that are bulldaggers and trans and you're confused and you don't want nothing for men, y'all have created a vacuum into which the trans movement is coming. And the big losers, if they should get these laws passed that Joe Biden and Simone Sanders and all the other little stupid black Democratic tramps want, black women are going to be erased by white men, Latino male, female impersonators, and black male impersonators. Y'all will be the big losers. And by the way, y'all will be the ones that get raped in the restroom, beaten, replaced, dog. There will be a white man that will be Miss Black America. And you guys made this happen. Now, Spencer Holland is begging. And one woman got up and she asked a very basic question. When you talk about mass incarceration and Joe Biden, let's talk about something. Why did black men sell dope? Why were black men selling drugs? What was one of the driving forces for black men to sell drugs? I knew nobody would answer. To impress black women with wealth that they wouldn't ordinarily have. To buy them jewelry, to have nicer cars, to buy clothes. Yes, I even have seen black mothers have their sons sell dope. Black mothers. Sure they have. Absolutely. And their boys go to jail. I had a neighbor just a few blocks up was helping her son sell dope to bring the money home. I have seen it. No one talks about these mothers that had their boys. Literally, they prostituted their boys to the drug trade. to get the money, and then go and cry in church. Oh, my son, I'm there. The black mother gets to set the children up to get up in jail or shot dead or murdered, and then go and play the dignified mother, just cry and fall out. Black women, y'all need to atone. There was a point in the 80s where if a man didn't have a pager on, if he didn't look like he was selling drugs to have that fast money, sisters wouldn't even talk to them or dance with them in the club. You couldn't be a black man with a regular job. You needed to have that drug money coming in, or they wouldn't even look at you. So how many black men got into drugs, or they liked a sister, they had to get weed or cocaine in order to get the sex that the simp was after? I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking. I don't give a damn who doesn't like it. Look, ever since I discovered there's a wider diaspora, and like a lot of black men and the simps, they don't say what's on their mind about this because they're afraid, oh, there'll be no more pussy. There'll be no black pussy if I speak my mind. I can't speak my mind. I just want some pussy like anybody else, right? So they don't. There's Ecuador, there's Peru, there's Colombia, there's Costa Rica, there's Haiti, there's the Dominican Republic. They even have mohair. I mean, nobody has to beg a hard-headed, pork-chop feminist Jezebel bitch for nothing. Okay? You're one of many black women in the world. Now, for the Rosa Parks type sisters, the C. Dolores Tucker type sisters, the real queen black women, you meet a real righteous black woman like, say, my mom. There's nothing like a black American woman that understands and loves you, as rare as they are. They're gems. God bless them. But all of you tramps can't get credit for what a few sisters are like. My own mother, I'm going to have her on this show. They're bewildered by young black women. These are women that can't figure out what's going on. So, we got to clean this thing up. We've got to fix this thing up. I'll turn 56 in February. But why 51 years ago, my mother told me, when I was 4 or 5 years old, my mother told me, son, if you don't marry a black woman, I understand. I'm raising my sons to be gentlemen, but I don't see my peers raising their daughters to be wives for my sons. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to put you with. I don't see them teaching, like, I know what it's like, sleep in the same hotel room, sleep in the same bed, and not bother the sister. Not that she didn't like her, she's not mine. People say, I can tell your mother taught you character. Okay. My own mother said, I don't know if there'll be somebody black because I see the way they're raising their daughters. That's not going to be a match for my son. This is what my mother said in 1969. I was trying to figure out what the hell is she talking about in 1960. I'm 4. And now I see, right? And I saw it 30 years ago. What my mother was saying about how black women got into pork chop feminism and they ruined their daughters. Same women who had a husband and they tell their daughter all this bullshit about the man they were married to and put all their toxicity and garbage in the head of their daughters. And yet she's with the man for 50 years until they die. And the daughter's so angry at the father that raised her until no man's good enough. And they die alone and they've got all these dysfunctional kids. Black women, a lot of y'all have fucked up the family with the bullshit y'all have done. And it's got to stop. And y'all are going to have to start confessing we fucked up. Don't tell me about black men fucking up because we agree. When I did the show with Ron Hurd the other day, I never defend black men that are abusive or assholes or simps. I don't. I'm sick of it. But I notice without discussing the fucked upness of women and men, you don't get to the heart of the problem. It takes two to tango. It takes two to make a bastard. You can't have the bastard because of the detergent that you wash your drawers in. So, brothers and sisters, coon busters, in order for us to move forward, we need a reformation, a moral, ethical reformation. And I'm just saying to you, when we did have a black family, y'all gonna get mad at me. I don't care. People use the Bible and it helped guide our family. Okay, if you really read it. If you're reading it like a white supremacist and you see Jesus as some kind of white faggot that supports black enslavement, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And 90% of the people that act like they're black radicals that hate the Bible are usually pushing LGBTQ or some utopian Pan-Africanism that's non-reciprocal, that's never done shit for black people. Real talk. It's really important. Feminism must become an enemy, an ideological enemy of black people like Uncle Thomism was in the 60s. It has to go out. And it has to start with black men. When you date a black woman, if she's a feminist, don't even date her. Find out, are you a feminist? Are you a womanist? Do you hate black men? Do you like your dad? Do you love your dad? They say no to that. Say, I'm sorry, I don't think we'll get along. From the very get-go. You can start saying, women, I love my father. They can start lying and shit. Because if black men had a standard instead of, the standard for black men is if you have a vagina, you're okay. Even if you're a Klanswoman with the robe on, with the little hole in the sheet, it says, blacks allowed. But saying, oh, Klanswomen need love too. Simps will screw anybody. Simps will screw in the monkey house of the zoo, especially if the monkey has blonde hair. Anyway. One of the things that I want to encourage people to do, and I'll probably do a couple of other programs, and forgive me when I run to the restroom, I'm still taking antibiotics for this abscess that I had that's almost gone. I have one more battery of pills, 3 more to take, and then I'm good. And we'll keep doing this. But I do want people to continue to email me at wrandyshort@gmail.com if you want an affidavit waiver form for the shot. If you know of people that are worthwhile being on the platform, it doesn't have to be a perfect person, just people with something to say. By the way, no feminist, none. I don't want to ever, no feminist can come on my platform. Never. I don't want any simps. No simps. No Aunt Coons. If you hate the Bible and you hate black Protestantism, go to hell. And you're already going, in case you don't know. See you. I'll be up in heaven watching your ass roast like a briquette. Hallelujah. Everybody talking about heaven ain't going heaven. Heaven, everybody talking about heaven ain't going there. Well, I'm going to shout. I'm going to be like all over God's heaven. And y'all be burning with your little onks and shit on. Coons. Anyway. Also, I was going to sing a song for y'all. Y'all want to hear a song? Who wants to hear me do a Warnock song? I just love war nuts. Okay. Well, I mean, I love this. I mean, nobody said yes. Okay. Well, anyway, let me see. It's headed towards 6 a.m. And I know maybe I'll do this in a couple hours. I'm behind. Please forgive me. YouTube shut me off. I'm about 15 to 16 programs behind. Do you realize that's 32,000 views that I should have gotten if I had been able to keep that? Then on top of this, damn, I've never had antibiotics. I mean, they make me run to the restroom. Like, damn, I'm gonna have to take some probiotics. But something I did want to talk about real fast. Someone asked me to talk about, and I want to say this to you. And if y'all have a guest, I need a guest to help me come. And we need to talk about the threat that illegals and foreign invaders have to the DAFTA population. So I'll just, before I sign off here, I want to say that one, the people from Mexico were not the original Aboriginal people that lived on the east coast of the United States where we live. Okay. We are. And so no border crossed their ass, and they don't belong up here. And I don't owe anybody in El Salvador or any place else or Argentina shit. Okay. Neither do you. And I don't want an open border because they're using these people to destroy us. They're invaders burning us out of neighborhoods all over California. And anybody black that wants Spanish speaking sex so much, fuck y'all, you're traitors. I don't know what the signal number is, so I don't know what to tell you about that. Okay, sorry. Um, I'm sorry, I don't even know what that means. Um, the Asians, all these people, they have no real business here if they're here illegally. What you need to understand is that Biden wants to replace us not only with Latinos but with Indians. And just as short as my tooth got removed, it's an Indian woman that told me that I had no broken tooth when I told her I did, and the X-ray proved me right. She didn't even bother to read the X-ray. She could care less. It's an Indian. I don't hate Indians, have Indian friends. That's not the issue. The issue is they have a caste system and they see us as subhuman trash. And we've got black folks running after Kamala Harris. And yes, she has long hair and she'll spread her legs to advance herself. What's new about that? And all the little sorry ass, simp ass black men like Willie Brown, where life is about busting a nut. Why is it that white men can bust a nut but get political, social, cultural, and economic power? Why is it that just black men settle for short term sex and not long term success, real power, real freedom? And there's no excuse. No pussy's not that strong. You're such a weak ass, punk ass nigga. That's what that's about. These foreigners, and I don't hate people from other countries. I will be having more Africans and more Afro-Latins and other people on my platform. They're friends. They've been friends of mine for decades. I spent maybe 20 years of my life doing advocacy for Black people in the diaspora. I just want y'all to know that. One of the reasons I did was when I tried to get into Black things here in DC, the Boule people kept me out. They wouldn't take me. So I went and worked with Blacks from Colombia, Blacks from Peru, Blacks from Brazil, Blacks from Mauritania, Blacks from Ethiopia, Blacks from Sudan, Blacks from South Africa, Blacks from Mozambique, Blacks from Nigeria, right? Blacks from Libya, Blacks from Haiti. I started working with Black people from all over because you couldn't get in the door. They didn't welcome you. They didn't want you around. I started focusing more attention on Blacks in America because I was in a group helping people in Ivory Coast that were, Africans. And they had no concern about what happened to Black Americans, even as we were here in America. They didn't really want Black Americans around. You understand me? And I says, wow, you mean I could be concerned about them, but fuck me for being from America. And I went to an African studies program at Howard and learned a lot of Africans didn't like us at all. I dealt with Caribbeans that hated Black Americans. I've been dealing with this for about 50 years. I've experienced it. I've been hurt by, dogged by, cheated out of jobs, lied on, backstabbed. I've never done this to Blacks from the islands. I've never done it to Blacks from the Caribbean, Blacks from Europe, Blacks from Australia, Blacks from India, Blacks from South America. Okay. But I've had it done to me by many of those people from those places. Many, 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 many times over. And so I'm cool. We Black folks must come together and have an identity. I'm talking about DAFTA, descendants of Aboriginals and forcibly trafficked Africans in America. We have to forge a unity amongst ourselves and understand that we have a unique identity. It's exceptional to us. We don't have to pander or beg anyone. I don't need anybody on the African continent to feel good about who the hell I am. I have ancestry in Africa, and I love the people in Africa. I've met them. I've even traveled. Only place I haven't been to where I have ancestry from is Cameroon to northern Nigeria. Okay? I don't hate nobody, but I'm not begging anyone. I don't need you for that kind of identity. All right? Uh, We've got to now fight for our land, which is here in the United States. And I agree with Booker T. Washington. Cast down your buckets. In fact, cast down your gats. That we're not going to give up this land. This is our country. We must fight for it. Trust me, you can go to Africa and get your ass killed in Africa. I mean, these folks, you would be an invader. Some people accept you, but trust me, you get called Musungu, which means white, or foreigner. You're not brother or sister sometimes, but usually not. They're polite, but you're not from there. I'm not mad at them. They're telling you the truth. So all these little fake ass Pan-Africanist people that say, oh, just Africa's perfect. There's no venereal disease in Africa. There's no hunger in Africa. There are no jails in Africa. Africa's perfect. We just need to go back. Those people are fucking liars. If Africa's so perfect, why are Africans willing to sell themselves into slavery to get here? This country is not perfect, but we could make it perfect wherever we want it if we put our hearts and minds to making it work for us. We need 1 billion Black Wall Streets, not just one. Stop crying over shit that got destroyed 100 years ago and start building some new ones. Stop giving your money to Arabs. Stop giving your money to folks. Okay. And by the way, forgive me. You Black Muslims, y'all the biggest coons of all. Y'all will rationalize Pakistanis and others selling dope and inferior foods to Black people because y'all pray together in the same mosque and they're segregated from you, especially when they're Pakistani. Bullshit. Bullshit. What I call nigger Muslims. It's a way to coon. Well, there's universal brotherhood. Well, it's not in Yemen, where they're letting the Black ones die first. It's not in Mauritania. It's not for the Nubians in Egypt. It's not for the Blacks in Libya. It's not for the Blacks in Algeria. It's not for the Blacks in Tunisia. It's not for the Blacks in Sudan. I mean, I'm talking about the really non-Arabized Blacks in Sudan. Not in Abu Dhabi, not in Qatar, not in Dubai, not in Kuwait, not in Iraq, not in Oman, not in Jordan, not in Syria, definitely not in Lebanon. Y'all full of shit. No, there's just as much hate and racism in the Islamic world as there is in the white, so-called fake Christian Western world. Real talk. Anyway, we're going to do this again, hopefully in a couple of hours. And I want to pull some books out. I'm sorry. It's just been, I'm sick. I'm recovering. I hope I'm better in a day or so we can do this. For all of you that don't follow Christmas, I absolutely don't. Jesus was born in April, not in December. This is some white cultic, satanic, Luciferian shit that people are doing. Christmas tree represents a penis. The wreath represents a pussy. The Yule log, they used to do human sacrifice. It's all a bunch of bullshit. If y'all wish to disrespect God and their teachings against Christmas, in fact, I might just do an anti-Christmas teaching today from the damn Bible. And we shouldn't be the main people spending our money with folks who hate our guts. This is a good question. Black people everywhere in the world are catching hell. In Pakistan, the Black people are called Siddhis. They are oppressed minority. In India, Black people are screwed over. Black people are not treated decently anywhere. This is a fact. We, DAFTA people, in spite of its looks, are doing about the best of any black people in the world. And trust me, it's shocking the hell out of me too. With the exception of super rich Africans or super rich Caribbeans or super rich Afro Latins, the average black American is doing a hell of a lot better than most other black people in the world. And that's damn, what a kick in the head. I've been all over and says, damn, we're doing okay. We could be doing much better. It's not as bad as we make it, but it's awful. Blacks in Iraq are fucked over. Blacks in Iran are mediocre. It's strange. Black folks are not necessarily, there is racism in Iraq. There is racial bias in Iran. Some people in Iran really like black people, genuinely like black people. I have a friend that's a black Iranian. I should have him come on the show. I should reach out to him and ask him if he'd come on my show. Maybe I can have him do a WhatsApp. And I can ask him right now and see if I can get a black Iranian to come and do the show. Okay? How would y'all like that? Would y'all like that? To hear from someone black that's Iranian? Let me see if I can find him. I have to find the number. Hold on. Let me go back and see if my friend from Iran will come on and talk to us. And I will even get my friend Lisa Sabukwe. We're going to start looking at, by the way, I want to remind people that are listening, I'm going to throw this out. What would you guys think about an independent black media conference and confab? We would have to have some standards, of course. You can't be promoting LGBTQ. You can't be promoting feminism. You can't be promoting atheism. You can't be aligned with communism. You can't come with and tell people that how they can talk. So all you religious ass people, oh, you curse, I can't. Look, if you can't deal with real black people, take your ass somewhere. And by the way, your damn churches where everybody talks just so are dying. Nobody comes there because y'all fake. Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, I know a lot of people, they believe in God. They just won't go to church and be around a bunch of coons. And I don't really blame them. I can't. Let me see. Is this a person? Where is this? Oh, here he is. Let me see. I'm going to tell him, hi, join my YouTube channel. My audience wants me to interview you ASAP so we can do a show on Iran. I've never been to Iraq. He was on at 217. And so we can talk about Iran. I'm certain I can get a show going on Libya. We do need to have a show on Libya and talk about how Obama and Susan Rice and others helped do genocide on blacks in Libya, and the tens of thousands of blacks were murdered, slaughtered. One of the few people that spoke up for them was the Honorable Dr. Cynthia Ann McKinney, former Congresswoman from Georgia's 7th Congressional District, my dear friend. I was in Libya too. And y'all wonder why I talk about Obama so bad. When you see what they did, how they have a prison where they rape and kill black women, that Obama, Hillary Clinton, they set this thing up. Yeah, when y'all hear me raging and cursing against these people, it's not because I'm petty. When you hear great raids, a great crime has been committed. I especially don't like when you kill black women and babies. You can't do nothing for me. Everybody black can wear an Obama t-shirt. I'll be the person that doesn't. I will never go for that. In fact, my mother has a woman from Latin America that cleans the house. She and I really got close after the Obama plates got broke upstairs. I just love her for that. I don't think it's an accident. She broke that shit. Uh, she smashed that shit. That was funny. I have friends in India that are Dalits. I can have them come on and talk about how they rape and kill people there. When you hear about the raping in India, it's one of these black Indian women that gets gang raped, even on buses and shit. It's absolutely normal. Kamala Harris comes from the caste of Indians that do it. So black women, y'all gonna get raped and tore up if she's president or vice president. Sure enough, you show black men that y'all could vote for Biden, you'll pay for it. I don't even debate with people anymore. Now I sort of sit back and just laugh because the calamity's coming, right? Calamity's coming. I will reach out. I'm going to ask my cousin Matthew Fogg to come on, the only black man to successfully sue the United States Marshals and the DEA for racial discrimination. And there are many other people I need to start inviting on just to talk, because I'm certain I get sick of talking. I don't listen to my shows. If y'all find them interesting, I'm shot. I just feel like I'm just talking. But anyway, some people think it's useful. I do try to be factual. I do need to get my friends the Moriartys to come in and talk about all the stuff that has been done to kill black people in Libya. They're still being killed. They're still being drowned in the Mediterranean. Sometimes they're rammed by boats. There are other people. I may even bring someone on to talk about Haiti. It depends on how I feel, you know. But I want to say this to you, and let's be careful. One people, ADOS people, Foundational Black Americans, DAFTA, Black folks, we've got to take care of home first. I have to wipe my ass before I can think about having another man a roll of toilet paper. So my focus on my platform for the time being will be based on the lower 48 states, of course, Hawaii and Alaska, and the People's Colony of the District of Columbia are included. For people in the wider diaspora, which I will work with, that will be ancillary or secondary to what we need to get done in this country. Okay, there's never been a We Are the World record cut for us anywhere in the world. We are truly by ourselves and have to learn how to be our own advocates, protectors, and to move us forward. Okay. I am completely in favor. If I had lots of money, I have a friend that's starting a university in Uganda, I'd give him money. I have requests for money all over the damn world, as broke as I am. And trust me, I'm not making $50,000 a year. Okay. There is a question in the chat room. Thank you, Sheila. What do you say about the law passed in the Russian parliament banning homosexual propaganda, gay pride parades? Okay, gays are all right. In Russia, the reason that you have Vladimir Putin understands that the LGBTQ movement is a global depopulation movement to destroy human society. Yes. Am I saying that the individual homosexual busting a nut or munching carpet brings down the whole society? No. But when you make public policy and institutionalize and put it everywhere, it does bring about a demoralization and a slow disintegration that accelerates over time of that society. When Putin first came to power, Russia had a negative birth rate. The people were dying from suicide, alcoholism. Many Russian women had as many as 30 abortions. Abortion was a form of birth control in the former Soviet Union. Putin and them wanted to reverse the trend of the Russian people dying off. And what they had done with Russia, and what most people don't know, is that the Russians have been targeted by their enemies in America and in Western Europe to promote LGBTQ and drug abuse. At least 1 million Russians died from drug overdoses, from drugs produced in Afghanistan, okay? That America helped to get into Russia so these people would die from heroin overdoses. Really, 1 million people, yes. 1 million Russians have died from drugs, produced by Afghan drug lords, helped by American soldiers protecting the poppy fields, make certain they got processed and sent into Russia and into Eastern Europe to kill and demoralize people that were seen as hostile to the American imperial project. Yes, your government, the same way dope was dumped in the South Central, it was dumped in Leningrad, it was dumped in Volgograd, it was dumped in Moscow, it was dumped in Kiev. Okay, so there's drugs all over Russia. Putin and them have been fighting to save the lives of Russian people because Putin is a Slavic nationalist. He wants to fight for the rights of Slavs to exist. And so they smashed the LGBTQ movement, which was trying to promote values that were inimical to the survival of the Russian society. The reason that they're pushing the gay stuff on black people is to break us and to destroy us. Have we always had gay black people? Sure. You know, it's amazing. It's not like this shit's new. But why does it have to be everywhere? Why does it have to be the focus? Why every movie, every subject, every song, every celebrity, every politician have to be black and gay? State and local sanction imposed homosexuality on black people. They're not imposing it on Latinos. They've got gays. They're not imposing on Asians. They've got gays. Why us? It's to break us, to destroy us. We're the same people that Planned Parenthood is imposed on. They're trying to impose the injections on us. There's always been an effort to destroy the black population. In fact, before I went off to Atlanta, we were talking about eugenics. I'm going to come back to that and revisit. I have the books. I have the material. I just have been distracted. What I want to say to you is what we were hoping to do is to form a consortium for coon busters, wherein, for example, if there's someone with a hot book that they wanted to discuss, there's been one person to write me, but they want to promote their book. I'm not saying no to it. Just I get busy. I get sick. I have stuff to do. I don't have a secretary. I have other things to do. I may have to take care of my mother one day. You know, look, for people who want to deal with thoughts, knowledge, and information, be in touch. You have an email. I'll say something, and this is sort of where a lot of black people, forgive me, are dumb as fuck. I know a lot of black folks you cannot call. They're not receptive if you speak to them. They won't write you back. They won't speak to you. You can't get them. And these are the people that you look up to. Then if there are people that you can call, but they're not a celebrity, they're not on CNN, you don't bother to talk to them because they're not famous. Let me break this down to you. When they get famous and they've got an agent and they got booking people, they're not going to be available to you anymore. I think I have the book Medical Portrait right here. This is one. I have the books. I've got a couple books by, I have them. We're going to go through it and see what we can do. The people who are celebrities that so many of you are obsessed with, they don't have time for you. They're not going to be available. And if you see them, like this long-ass program, I'm going to have to do fewer of these. I'll do fewer. And I'll do teasers, and then we'll do longer shows on Patreon because what's his name? Judge Joe Brown gets paid $15,000 per speech if it's 30 minutes. And you wonder how he can get around and do stuff. It's because for the knowledge he has, he's paid for it. A lot of what many of the people who are putting out blogging and sharing, if they're white or others that get paid, when they're black, we expect it for free. We think knowledge is free. Any book, whatever, good book typically, especially if it's hardback, we're talking about $30, $40, $50 to have it. Then when someone brings it to you, you're hearing someone break down what they may have paid $50 for the book, and then they have to pay for the internet. So all of this is paid for you to simply hear it. It's not free. It cost. For people who went to college, that went into debt in the tens of thousands, scores of thousands of dollars, it's not free what you're hearing. It cost. When you get it, and you might give $1, God bless, you might give $5. And some people are generous. They may give 50 or 20. Um, I know other people with their podcast, they may do a 6 or 20 minute thing, and then they have people who pay $50 or $20 a month, and then they get to watch the whole thing. Maybe we'll do this, but it's not because I'm so pressed about money, but in order to have it. Like someone say, well, your sound isn't good. Well, I'll have to buy equipment for it to sound the way you want it, Coon. You want better lighting? Then I have to buy a light. If I get a light bulb for my camera lights, which I do have now, that bulb is like $20 for it to look a certain way, and you're obsessing over it instead of the value of information. CNN and all the other things, mainstream media, the numbers are dropping. People are not watching this stuff anymore. And they've got all the great production, everything else. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Now, everybody in the chat room, let me make this absolutely clear. You have my email. There's no reason in the world, if you have an in-depth question that's atopical to what I'm talking about, why not just write me in my email instead of putting it in the chat and when I don't address it, unless you want someone else to read it. And by the way, everybody reading in the chat room, if y'all want to answer someone's question, please be my guest. Please be my guest. Answer each other's questions. I do want to get back to the books. I miss it. I want to still get some more people. I reached out. I'm going to call Paul Reiser again. I'm going to try to get his friend. What's his name? Barrett Strong. The one who wrote, I heard it through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine. Hey, baby. Right. Heard it through the brain. And I'm going to try to get the women that's in the background. What's it? The Andantes. Kim Weston is friends with the surviving members of the Andantes. They were the background singers for Motown. 2 of the 3 of them are still alive. I'm going to see if I can get the Andantes on here. And yeah, I'll have some celebrities. I want some intellectuals. Yes, I use non-traditional ways of talking to people, and by the way, my technical advisor and leader was telling me that someone told you I was crazy. I'm mentally insane. Well, if I'm insane, what are the Black Boule people? What is their issue when they let lead paint be used in public housing where Black people live? Or fluoride, lead, nickel, manganese be in the drinking water, or resurfaced lead in the air? What are they when they let GMO foods that are unsafe for our people to be eaten? What are they when they let Black farmers get ripped off when they're billions of dollars through the Department of Agriculture? What are they when they help gentrify cities that put Black people in the streets and help illegals in the country not only vote, but get housing, jobs, and education? If I'm crazy, they must be something far worse. Okay, real talk. If I'm crazy for thinking slavery and genocide in Libya is wrong, if I'm crazy for thinking that Black kids being raped, molested, and trafficked and organs harvested in Haiti is wrong, or Black genocide in Colombia, South America is wrong, or genocide of the Nuba people in Sudan is wrong, or slavery of Black people in Mauritania is wrong, or mass incarceration in America is wrong, and they think it's okay, their sense of sanity is something I want nothing to do with. Quote me. And they can all fuck themselves, really. I don't care. I have no regard for these people. And if I could personally see that all of them got vaccinated for Coonvid, because they've got Coonvid, 1619, and they need an inoculation like 400 years ago, 401. It's going on 402. I could care less. Okay, it's going on 6:30, and What can I say? Huh? What can I say? Hey, Eric, how you doing? Hey, Eric, that Zelle work, baby. By the way, y'all, yes, you can send me via PayPal or Zelle. My PayPal is wrandyshort at gmail. My Zelle is wrandyshort at gmail. Somebody has already sent me $10. I thank you. And I'm going to try to get a new recorder. And I'm going to probably try to get a podcast set. Anyone that knows about podcasts, in fact, my technical advisor, he knows everything. And by the way, Eric, you got to meet this phenomenal brother who knows all the technical stuff. Y'all need to use him for these conferences that you have. Yes, I'm pimping him out, trying to get him some business. I know he doesn't want it, but that's sort of like a nymphomaniac not wanting to meet new men. He can stop being humble. Anyway, uh, I just want everybody to. In fact, I need to buy a book. It's called Rituals of Blood. I'm gonna put this up here, and I might just buy that for the hell of it. It's called Rituals of Blood. I've mentioned before. It's by Orlando Patterson, and I want you to. Okay, there it goes. There's a white woman by the name of I think her name is Jane Lancaster. I think that should be something that we get into. Jane Lancaster. That's my mother's family name. I like that. So that's why I'm Randy Lancaster. I love my mommy, right? Jane Lancaster is an anthropologist and she's an expert on the dumb fuck mating patterns of black women. It's a white woman at that. Or if she's black, she's probably a cousin of mine. I'm going to order that book right now. While I have a chance, I need to order a copy of Rituals of Blood. I'm going to either get it through Abe's books because I think I need to go through Rituals of Blood. I need to go through Rituals of Blood because it's got some really helpful stuff. And if I put that along with what I have with Black Men and Divorce, we can actually do some really some useful work. And I know, yes, I'm going to make a whole lot. I make a lot of black women angry, but you know, it's very interesting. It's blowing my mind, right? That the sisters, I mean, I don't know what it is. If I do something really nice and sweet and encouraging to my dear sisters, nobody will send me a buck. But man, if I go in on the pork chop feminist, and no, I don't make that a focus. In fact, I'm not gonna get no money for going off on simps. It's interesting. The sister starts to, but wait, his dick was good. He left me, but he was good. So, the simps, they got a lobby group protecting them for being sorry ass black men. I mean, you know, this is something, all you sisters listening, I just want to say something because the white feminists have lied to you. I'm going to just speak to you personally, and I want every man listening to this to say, yes, sir, if I'm telling the truth. When a black man, a decent black man, hears that a black woman's been raped, beaten, harassed, subject to catcalling, anything, his first inclination, or one of his first thoughts is to go to the gun store that man should be killed. I just want to say this to you, ladies, to understand you that part of why you're not protected is we're under matriarchy. Because the way that black men would handle stuff, if someone did something to a woman or a girl or whatever, the first thing that goes to a man's mind that has any regard for their people, for the women, or a man does something to a woman, he should die. They don't want him to go to court. They just want to crush him. Am I right, brothers? How many brothers agree when you hear that a sister has been hurt, raped, violated, dogged, or someone's molesting? Do y'all feel like he's your buddy and y'all want to buy a beer with him, or do you think that Negro should get hung? How many of y'all feel like when you hear some dudes out there beating up on women, The first thing you feel like is someone should die, or several people. If it's a bunch, they should all hang. How many of y'all feel that way? I have two people. Thank you, Terrence. Jesus Christ is who else? When somebody's hurt a black woman or beat down or ripped up or violated a woman or a child, do you feel like hanging out with him and being in his bowling club? Do you want to be his buddy? You want to play spades with him? Or do you think that nigga's head should get split open? Or if it's a cracker, his head should be split open? Because when that happens, when the black grandmother, I cried. I was so angry. I'm still angry. Hear about this black grandmother being dragged out naked. I feel insane. I'm still angry. You can't see it. You don't know me. Eric Shanks knows me. He can look at my face and say, I'm furious. There's a smile on my face, but you don't know me. I'm angry about this. I'm angry about Breonna Taylor. I'm angry about the black man being dragged out of his home in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'm angry still about Sandra Bland. You don't see it in my face, but I'm really angry about this. I'm angry with anyone that would let it happen. I'm angry about Trayvon Martin. I'm particularly angry about Tamir Rice. I'm angry about the black girl who was found with her organs hacked out in Chicago. I can't even remember the names of the stuff that makes me angry. And I feel like the persons that did this should die. I don't want them to go to court. I don't want them to sit on death row. I want to see somebody hurt the way that they hurt our women and girls and our babies. That's how the healthy men feel, that this would stop if we punish these people the way that we men would deal with it. The way that we men feel about it, that person should be taken in a room and beaten out of consciousness. Okay, down in Galveston, Texas, they had a place called the Lion's Den in the black part of town. And there were black men, if they raped or molested a child, they had lions in the basement. The lions would eat those black men. That's how the old school, they dealt with this shit. They didn't need a white lawyer or somebody. We just smashed this thing in the house. And I don't feel anything about it. I'm just telling you, I saw a picture of a man who's a pedophile in another country, and people put 100 knives in this dude. I love the picture. It didn't bother me. I felt great. It says, damn, we need that here. Not that it's going to happen, but the feminists have told you, black women, that black men are down for this rapine abuse of black women. It's not true. Black men have been standing down because pork chop feminists have told us, I don't need a man. I don't need anyone to walk or protect me. I got this. Mind your business. You're patronizing me. She should have said, stop protecting me instead of stop patronizing. Stop being concerned about my safety as a woman. I don't need you. Sisters, 2021 is going to show of black women killed, married to white men. They're going to be men who kill black women with COVID and collect their insurance money. Not saying black men won't do it, some. But a white dude's more likely to get away with it. Latino men kill black wives, too. Take their ass down to Mexico, you never hear about them again. It's interesting. A black man can hurt black women, but he's likely to be punished by black society or the white law. White men, Asian men, other men do something to you black women, that's just your ass, because their mothers and all of them will be in on it. But the average black man wants to protect black women. Even when it comes down to discussing these painful issues and pork chop feminism, a lot of simps are good dudes that simply think our women have been through so much, they have the right to be these awful bitches, these unlovable bitches because of what's been done to them. Most simps say, well, they've been hurt. I've heard brothers rationalize whatever women do because, you know what, there's some recognition that black women go through something. The problem is a lot of black women don't recognize that black men go through anything. They're shocked. They act like white people. You mean there's racism? Black women. You mean black men have problems? I thought y'all were free. I mean, we have these really dumb fuck black women. I don't know where they got brains from. Maybe they got it from, from Sears, which has gone out of business. But the average black man is tired. They don't like to see sisters get messed over. They don't like that. Let me tell you something about being a black man. I can tell you for being a broke black man. If you thought I didn't want to have a family by now, or have kids, or have a home, and this is a whole bunch of black men, where the economic system is rigged against us, when someone has a birthday, I'm not a selfish person. You think I wouldn't want to buy them a bike? You don't think I wouldn't want to buy them a coat, or get them a ring, or buy them some jewelry, or send them on a cruise? Part of what the white supremacist system, that the white lesbian feminists, that you black pork chop feminist hoes listen to, the system that they benefit from disproportionately at the expense of black men who bled, suffered, and died from the French and Indian Wars all the way up to now. The big beneficiaries have been white women that you fuckers eat the pussies of and run after. Yes, you do. They partner with white men and they mom and pop our oppression. Black men have been economically castrated from the outside by them, and then castrated again by traitor, disloyal, pork chop feminist bitches in our community, and by the sexuality coons, and then by the illegals and honorary whites and the black men. Therefore, he doesn't get to be an economic man in his community. He doesn't get to be an economic man, and I know a lot of men who would like to do things. I'll tell you a story about a man I know that was economically castrated. He was my father. My father could have been a very wealthy man. My father refused to be a coon for the white evangelicals. This Pat Robertson that you see on CBN, I remember going to Pat Robertson's house in like 1973 when CBN was in his garage. My father was liked, Lucille Ball, all these people traveling all over the country. But my father talked about racism, and these people say, man, Short, you're all that. We can take you anywhere. He could be what TD Jakes is now. But you can't talk about racism. If you just talk about God, you'll be a millionaire 2 or 3 years. My father turned the money down. As a result, I didn't have like all the nice stuff because my dad wouldn't be a coon. And there are a lot of black men, myself included, who wouldn't take the money against our own people. I can see a nigga that's been bought. And they're able, by the way, they selfishly look after their own family. And I think you should look after your own family, but it's wrong to take care of your family at the expense of your whole people. That's wrong. I remember my father buying me my first computer in 1992. In fact, I'm going to tell you something no one else knows. My father ripped off some other preachers to buy me my computer. My dad was so glad to be able to give me something to go off to school with. My father was who he wanted to be instead of who he had to be economically. A lot of us are not what we'd like to be. We are what we've been forced to be. A lot of you sisters look at us, wait a minute. If he's only making 50 cents to the other man's dollar, if he buys me a $500 coat when I want a $1,000 coat, that was the $1,000 coat based on what he could do. Of course, women don't think rationally. Okay, it's a major problem, black women. Okay. A lot of y'all do a lot of stuff that men can do. Well, we've had to be strong, but you know what? You've never had to be logical or rational. Real talk, broads. You've never had to think really in terms of numbers or reasonable. You haven't. And that's a major disadvantage that you're in a male sphere and you've been pushing there, but you're still thinking, like a person with PMS, okay, and a man's game. And you need to learn how to get inside of the head of a black man if you're going to keep him. I've seen a lot of white women, like I said in previous conversations. I'd have white women come up and start talking to black men about Malcolm X. These white hoes were studying, reading Bobby Seale and shit, trying to bust a rap to black dudes talking black culture. And they would come up to the smart niggas, the dudes with the high GPAs and all this stuff. They would be like really engaging in black culture and history and knowledge, right? And if a black dude tried to talk to a sister about books, there was a turn down when one of the pork chop feminists wanted to humiliate a black man at Howard or other places. Come on, Eric, you know I'm telling the truth. The major put down, it came from California hoes. You seem to put a major emphasis on book learning and academic prowess. In other words, you seem to think it's important to be intelligent. And we're at a fucking university. You seem to put a lot of emphasis on academic attainment. And that was the way to say, I only fuck stupid simp niggas. Yes, the sisters would say that. That was a turn down. If you're talking about books, you're serious about study, whatever, you seem to emphasize your good grades. I mean, that's not interesting. So you wouldn't talk to them. Come on, you're both in bioengineering, and you would think that you could talk to another person who happened to be a female about what it is that you research. No, they expected you to be dumb like the jerks that were in sports, or like the fraternity niggas that run around touching themselves doing homoerotic shit on the yard. And black men don't talk about. I'm saying shit that's hard for you to hear. I don't care. Have an aneurysm. Grow up. Now, let me see. Yes, Eric. I helped expose Warnock. I want to say to everyone, you're looking at one of the inspirations for the story on Warnock being released. I know who did it. I'm getting a check today from them. It's 4 figures. Thank you, Jesus. I thank God. I would do it again. I'm glad I didn't have to do it for free. I went down to Georgia to incite anger against Warnock and to denounce him in the name of Jesus Christ, who I do believe in, no matter how much I'm cursing. And wow, I'll be 56. I've been a Christian since I was 4. I've been trying to act like it lately. My mouth will follow my heart. Look, back to what I was saying about dumbass people and dumbass women. Dumb, ignorant people make ungodly, dumb, degenerate children. We have to become better people, better men and better women. Now, as I was saying, men who are not allowed to be men, it causes men to hurt, and they're quiet. A lot of black men don't talk because they're unhappy with themselves. They're unhappy with what they can't do for their families. They're unhappy about what they cannot do. Bert, never ever tell me to give up my faith. That's like telling you to cut off your nuts. Okay. So, if you don't like me being a Christian, I'm a Christian. It's just okay. Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, was judged under Pontius Pilate, crucified, buried, resurrected, and sits on the right hand side of God the Father. Anybody that doesn't like my Black American Protestantism is free to find another channel to go to. And it's kind of stupid. I'm going to just say this. It's dumb as shit. It's dumb as fuck. As bright as I am, God gave this to me. So you're telling me to curse the person that gave me this wisdom. Why are you on my fucking site if you think something's wrong with me? You should take your ass somewhere else and be with atheists who are promoting pedophilia and LGBTQ and swirling and intersectionality. That's what the people who don't talk about Christ have been doing, destroying our community. So, yep, the little onk niggas that have let Christ go support abortion, support what they call this twin spirit or whatever, which is a rationalization. Like what's that god Obatala, the homosexual god in the Yoruba pantheon. So anybody tell me to let Jesus go makes me wonder where they're coming from. Okay, real talk there. Uh, the people that I see fighting against the Gay Equality Act, I haven't seen any of these African spiritualists, none of the Coons, none of these Egyptian niggas stand up to saying no to legalization of pedophilia. I don't hear them standing up against this injection, Tuskegee 2.0. I don't hear them speaking out against gentrification. Only thing I see these niggas do is attack Black nationalist Christians who've been the backbone of our movement. Martin Luther King's a Christian. Nat Turner's a Christian. Harriet Tubman's a Christian. Rosa Parks is a Christian. Medgar Evers is a Christian. Adam Clayton Powell's a Christian. Where are the commiserate Ankh niggas? Where are their icons that have fought for us? The only thing that they do is attack people who are genuine in their faith, which says to me, people are listening to lying demonic spirits that the scriptures talk about. And a lot of Black folks are devil worshippers. There's Satanists in our midst. Irritated Genie, let's just say this. Irritated Genie, I will say this and I'll say it once. He does stand up against pedophilia. He does stand up, but I'll say something to you. And I repeat this. Whose authority do these people speak against the evil spirits? Whose authority does the irritated Genie have? I'm not saying he doesn't. Who? What's the backup for it? And then last but not least, for all of you promoting Genie, and I'm not anti-Genie, ask the larger conscious community. In particular, don't ask me. Ask the people what happened to Straight Black Pride. Ask the people in Brooklyn, if you wanted to take Genie to Brooklyn, why did that movement implode? What was it that caused that movement, that's an important movement, Straight Black Pride, to fizzle out? Answer that question. I'm not dealing anymore. I'm just going to say to you, Straight Black Pride is a movement that we need. Why did it implode? Why did committed Black activists break up? What was lacking in that movement to allow it to stay together? Who caused it to break up? Why? I don't have the answer, but find out. So before anybody comes here preaching about any personality or group, well, if you know what happened to Straight Black Pride, then be very careful who you put up on the platform. I didn't attack nobody. I'm only saying Straight Black Pride. And if you're in that group, if you're in the Genie group, fine, be in Genie's group. I'm not mad. I like when Genie attacks LGBTQ. I like when he attacks pedophilia. Issues. Be very, very careful of anything, a group that doesn't have a scripture, that doesn't have a moral, ethical foundation in God. Because if you're following man, if you're following a human beings, no matter how wonderful they are, myself included, have flaws, have issues. There's a flaw. I got a flaw. I need help to do this program. I need help to finance the program. I need help for people to tell me who to talk to. I need advice. I absolutely do. And by the way, I'm coachable. Ask yourselves, in that Straight Black Pride movement, as valuable as it was, what happened? Why did it happen? What could have possibly hurt something that was so vital to our community? Who or what caused it to implode? By the way, it wasn't Randy Short. It wasn't Randy Short. Randy Short's not trashing anybody. that takes a stand. But I will say to you, I challenge anyone to do the kind of necessary research. His wife could have been a lot of things, but ultimately, my friends, my dear friends, straight black pride is and was a very important movement. Irritated Jeannie says so many things that need to be heard and said, not a million times, but a trillion times. I've said this to Jeannie myself, and you can check. Jeannie is now being attacked by people in Africa, and the new continental African LGBTQ movement, that Jeannie and his movement is being attacked by continental African gays who are going back and bringing up examples from traditional African religions where they had pedophilia, incest, and homosexuality, and saying that Jeannie and the people who are saying that there's no homosexuality in Africa don't know what they're talking about. They're being attacked now, not by me, but by Africans themselves. Says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm saying that Jeannie's getting attacked. And I'm not saying Jeannie is being attacked for a good reason. I'm saying that these Africans are being honest about their religions, where there was deviance in Africa prior to the colonial presence of the Europeans. So the pseudo concept that not one African in Africa ever did a blowjob or got hit in the booty or was gay or was into drag queenism is a damn lie from hell. And we need to stop pretending that Africa or Africans are perfect. Were that the case, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So anybody that's a romanticist and Africa fabulous, where there's no problem in Africa and everyone loves each other and everything's beautiful and wonderful and the African family is perfect, you're in the wrong platform. You need to go with the Aunt Coons who like lies and saying that there are no problems in Africa, there's no malaria in Africa, there's no hunger in Africa. You need to go there and enjoy it. This isn't a platform where I'm begging for people to listen to me. I'm not. This is not about begging people. It's voluntary. You can check in, you can check out. It's not like a mental hospital, okay? I never said anyone's perfect. I told you I'm flawed. I could be a better person. Pray for me. Through Christ that I get better. I never said anything about Jeannie or his wife. I said that the straight black pride movement imploded. And we're not just talking about a divorce. We're talking about a larger movement. Plenty of people have been in movements. They've been divorced and the movement continued. Why did the movement implode? When you get the answer to that, you'll understand why there's a need for God, for righteousness, for commandments, for beatitudes, for how we treat one another, loving one another, respecting one another, honoring one another, not letting our ego or our pride get in the way of how we treat our brothers and sisters. We've had many movements implode because they're built around personalities or people who are human, who are gifted, but they have problems, flaws, like any person does. And the question is, can that person discipline themselves or work with people or share power or influence? Do they treat everybody nice? Are they fair with money? Do they stab people in the back? Do they use people? I haven't said that anyone has, but these are questions. The Black Panthers got infiltrated. Straight black pride got infiltrated. Lots of black groups get infiltrated and destroyed. But one thing that they seem to have in common is that there's a lack of a covenant, lack of transcendent, divine, godly principles that help at least get people to be their better person. Marcus Garvey's movement imploded. But Marcus Garvey's movement isn't completely gone. But people have done that. Now, it's 7:01. We can have another discussion, but I would just say to you that Irritated Jeannie is a very, very important person who is putting out a lot of truth, a war on the horizon. He is one of the few people standing up to the homophile agenda. And to that effect, he is perhaps one of the best people in the country doing it. That's a quote from Dr. Randy Short. Irritated Genie is doing a phenomenal job there. And bar none, he needs to continue to do it. What I will say to all Black movements and all Black leaders, we absolutely need the power of God, the love of God, and the compassion of God to move forward and to keep a movement unified, because we're going to be attacked on all sides. And if we lack compassion, love, commandments, covenants, if we are covenant breakers, if we're caught up in our pride, our own conceit, or whatever, or our reputations of needing to be the biggest, baddest Black person or this or that, it's used to destroy the movement. Hear me. So I want to say to you, yes, in as much as this platform's like my classroom, okay. Okay, I didn't say um uh I didn't attack Jeannie. I've not attacked Jeannie this entire conversation, good fellas, DMV. I simply said that all these Black movements, even Huey Newton, a brilliant man, a beautiful man, a caring man, he had flaws and they got to him, and they hurt and they destroyed a movement that did a lot of good for our people. It's still doing good for our people. Okay. And the same is so. Martin Luther King had flaws. At least he liked pussy. I have a dream this morning. I may be promiscuous in as much as any Negro pastor looks at a woman with lust in his heart and wants to share some ejaculate with the sisters in the congregation, right? Martin Luther King was a man. And to the degree that he gave his life, Malcolm gave his life, Medgar Evers gave his life, Garvey gave his life, Henry and Harrietta Moore gave their life. We honor them. Jeannie is doing great work. Jeannie will be even more powerful, even more effective with the charisms and the power of the God I serve. Okay, I believe that. I've said that to Jeannie. I'm not stabbing him in his back. When I see Luciferian people attacking Jeannie and say, Jeannie, you, you, you need God, dude. These folks are coming with this Luciferian stuff against him. So that's not a put down, that's an admonition. Maybe the advice is rejected. If there are any consequences to it, I said what I could say at that time. And yes, oh, how I love Jesus because he first loved me. If it bothers Ankh Negroes, it doesn't bother me. Okay. And I will remind anyone that doesn't know my story, when I drowned in 1970 or 71, the film coming on, it's either going to be 50 or 51 years ago. I know what it's like to be under 8 feet of water, be maybe 5 years old and couldn't swim under the water. I know what it's like to pray to God. I'm here. I should have been dead long time ago. When you can explain to me, all of you who hate God and hate Christ and hate the Bible, why out in Percyville, Virginia, when I was under 8 foot of water for 45 minutes, why I don't have brain damage, why I don't have lung damage, why I'm not dead. When you can explain that to me, give me some scientific reason as to why I'm not already dead. I'll consider maybe reconsidering the God that I called in the name of Jesus Christ when I was underwater, right? It doesn't matter if you understand name calling. I didn't call anyone names. In fact, so if anyone's cultic, that's their problem. In fact, if people heard name calling, when I'm talking about my experience, y'all are free to go. This is not a prison. This isn't a personality cult. It's just a platform. And pretty soon, well, I don't think we all should be dead. But by the way, one thing I don't tolerate on the platform, I don't like cultic stuff. So if folks have another religion thing, they're under the influence of Lucifer, the devil, they don't like Jesus Christ, they hate the Bible and all that, hey, go to where the people serve Lucifer are. They're plenty. They're the majority. The scriptures say the road to hell is wide. And they say the road to heaven is narrow and few shall find it. I hope I'm on it. I'd like to be. And I hope that you are too. And so I have no shame. My ancestors that were involved in the Underground Railroad, my ancestors that were with Nat Turner and so forth, something kept them. And from all my estimation, everything goes back to a Bible and Black Protestantism. And my family started off as Muslims. I have the name Muhammad all in my family. So that's how that goes. And folks have to get out of there. A lot of our brothers and sisters, please don't be emotional. Every time someone says something, it's not directed to you. But what the Bible says is that the Holy Spirit convicts people. And it's the Holy Spirit making people feel like they're being attacked. And I'm not holy. Only God is holy. Although it says be holy because I'm holy. So when people feel convicted by words being said, when I don't even know who I'm talking to, that has a lot to do with one's spirit. And so I'm going to let the Holy Spirit continue to work on people. God bless and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you. May you find peace. May you find the true living God, the Most High. May you come to understand what Deuteronomy 28 is talking about, and that we are the chosen people. But the reason the chosen people are catching hell is because of the little bogus gods that a lot of us are into these days. It's interesting how just at the point where we're about to break out of what we've been in for 400 years that the scriptures foretold, that all these bogus religions, in particular from Egypt, of all places, is now such a vogue where everybody's a god these days, and yet they can't make their own stimulus checks. So may God touch you. And if the Holy Ghost is convicting you, troubling the water, that's a healthy sign that God's trying to say, hey, look, I'm out here. And by the way, salvation is at hand if you want it. Liberation is at hand. And with a strong moral ethical foundation and with righteous indignation and with purpose, we can overcome the devils that want to keep us forever in their control. Coon Busters, it's been a wonderful 3 hours. Enjoy the Patreon, do 20-minute segments, and so you can listen for free, hate for free, criticize for free, but pretty soon you'll have to make a donation to listen to all this foolishness. And by the way, the scripture's called preaching foolishness. Okay? Anyway, who you gonna call? Coon Busters. I'm out. Love everybody. Help somebody. Stand up. Fight against feminism. Fight against this homophile LGBTQ sodomite industrial complex attacking us. Protect and love our sisters and brothers. Eat right. Avoid medication that's unsafe regardless of who's giving it. And peace to you. And MFM, we need our MFM. Avoid all the calf people. Avoid all the can people. Avoid all the bath people, the math people, the faff people, and every other thing in Coon Buster speak. I'll be back with y'all soon. Y'all take care. Have a whatever Christmas Eve, MFM everybody, and save that MFM. Buy yourself some weapons. Buy yourself some water. Buy yourself some canned goods. Buy yourself some seeds. Buy yourself some saplings. Pool your money. Buy some land. Grow as much of what you can grow and eat it because it's safer than what these devils are giving us. God bless you from Hawaii to Washington, from the Virgin Islands to Anchorage, Alaska. May God save my people from their haters inside and outside. I'm gone. Peace out. Bye-bye.